Hello there, welcome back to the Spider-Man Retrospective. We're on Season 2, Episode 5. Although me throwing out the episodes numbers, it's not going to work when we get to the month apart. So, I'm just going to say we're on the episode entitled The Menace of Mysterio. Yes. Why do I feel like they did a better job with this kind of storyline in the movie? Because, much like with Far From Home, they try to paint Mysterio as a hero, but because it's a half hour, they don't go the distance enough to kind of make it work. So, yeah, it appears as if Spider-Man has robbed a museum. But, we know better than that. And Peter Parker, he had been on this date with Mary Jane, and he's ready for another one. She wants him to help her study. Wink, 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 wink. Apparently, part of it is studying, but even he's like, she doesn't want to study. Not yet. One thing with Aunt May in this series is that consistently she's inconsistent. She's there for her nephew, but then also she hates Spider-Man. But sometimes she supports Spider-Man. I don't know. It's excuse you, but yes, she's yelling at the TV. Oh, I knew that Spider-Man was no good. So JJ is all on this, ready to make the news story when Mysterio pops up and says he is the new hero and wants to take down Spider-Man. Even though then, when Spider-Man shows up, the roof collapses and it's shown to be a prank. JJ still somehow thinks, or an illusion of sorts, somehow thinks that Mysterio is still the hero. And it's taken all my will not to say Mysterion, because South Park, but Mysterio. Yeah. It appears as if Spider-Man is once again robbing someplace. This time, the Brooklyn Bridge Mall? No, I don't know if that means it's just a mall named after the Brooklyn Bridge, or if there's a mall on the Brooklyn Bridge, but it doesn't make sense to me. I've never been in New York, so I don't know. But Spider-Man shows up to save the day, and it's a trap, so he gets tricked by Mysterio. And this is where we get our first hint that there's some history between them. Meet me on the George Washington Bridge. Or on the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge. Where you, the site of my downfall. So we get a little confrontation. Earlier when the ceiling fell, Spider-Man says, I should have known it wasn't real. My spider sense didn't go off. So here, it looks as if pieces of the bridge are falling. He's like, I'm not falling for that. And all of a sudden you see it. Oh, my spidey sense. It's real this time. And so now he's got to figure out what the connection is. So we get not our first appearance, but our first big appearance of Detective Terry Lee. Another original character from this series that I wish would have been in the movies more. Because if it's one thing about the movies, we don't get a real cop presence here. Except maybe George Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And when he dies, he doesn't go away. But there's not really a big police cop character. Like, Batman has Commissioner Gordon. Spider-Man could use someone. I guess in MCU, S.H.I.E.L.D. is sort of that sort of authority figures, even though S.H.I.E.L.D. died in Captain America Winter Soldier, but remnants of it now it's S.W.O.R.D. Right? I don't know. It's almost as if making Hydra the secret within inside S.H.I.E.L.D. was not a very good idea, and they kind of tried to go back on it by creating S.W.O.R.D., which I know is from the comics, but still. I'm just saying. Yes, so investigating materially, we find out what comic book fans already know. This Mysterio is, in fact, special effects expert Quentin Beck. They were filming a movie on the Brooklyn Bridge, and one of his special effects things went off and caused a helicopter to crash. It turns out he put it in a spot that was he didn't get a permit for. which is illegal. But then Spider-Man got him arrested and sent him to jail. And it's like, yeah, but I get he didn't have a permit. He spent a year in jail. Sure, he didn't have a permit. Fine. But it was an accident. He put it up there to get a better special effect. He didn't know it was going to cause a helicopter to crash. I know what he did was illegal. I know he didn't have a permit, but still. And yes, he went to jail, and now he's Mysterio. And I'm not a fan of the voice modulation they do when he's got the fishbowl on. Yeah, he's also, his address is down as Wonder Studios. Really, that's okay. And at this point, I like how he sends a fax to JJ. I like one thing I thought of. I just thought of it actually. So when you send a fax, you send it from somewhere, right? So couldn't JJ if he was so interested in finding out who Spider-Man is, couldn't he go on the fax machine and do a thing, find out where the fax came from, the address, number, connect it, right? I'm sure it probably would have just said it's from the Daily Bugle anyway, but I don't know. So he goes to Wonder Studios just in time to meet up with Terry Lee. I like how the letter he sends to him is, "Dear Chucklehead." Made me laugh. Made me chuckle, actually. Yes, so Spider-Man infiltrates, goes through, and he finds what he thinks is Mysterio. Underneath is a animatronic werewolf. Okay, and then he has to fight several different Mysterios, or sort of. Mysterio captures both Terry Lee and Jameson, which is why they're there. Yeah, because you're like, are they going to do anything? No, they get captured, and then he's going to drop them on spikes. Spider-Man saves the day, then a bunch of different Mysterios pop up, illusions. Find out which one's the real one. He's like, I use my spider sense. Close your eyes, and it immediately kicks the one that's the real back and knocks him unconscious. Now he's going back to jail. Yeah. And then you get the iconic shot from the credits where Mary Jane knocks the papers down and she smiles. And yeah, they're going to go on another date, I guess. What happened to Felicia Hardy? She's around. He does have some conflict when it comes to them, but not yet, I don't think. But yeah, so, Aunt May setting him up with Mary Jane is a good thing. It was like the end of the third episode that we get. Third? Right? We got... This is episode 4 then. That we get her. So it wasn't until the end of the third episode we got Mary Jane. And now she's in the show proper. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh. I like Mysterio. He's one of my. He's in my top 5 of favorite. Just the way they portray him with his illusions, he could be so much more. But for a Saturday morning kids cartoon, they gotta make him basic. Look at what they did in Far From Home. That's only the tip of the iceberg. What they could do with that character. Lies and subterfuge. It's his specialty. Jake Gyllenhaal was good. I don't know who does the voice here, but I don't like the modulation when he's got the fishbowl on his head. It's too weird like this. It's too much. Yeah. Also, he uses these hollow cubes, which don't exist now, but somehow existed in 1994 in this universe. I don't know. You make it appear as if a wall is crumbling, or one later we'll see he could project the whole forest or an airplane. We don't have that technology now, let alone, But then again, look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. Look at all the hologram stuff that Tony Stark has. We don't actually have that. I wish. I wish I could go up to a table and go, and just pick apart and put things. I wish I had that kind of technology, but we don't. But yeah, this was decent. It's better than the last two. You actually get an iconic villain, my personal favorites, but yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Don't comment so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.